Well, that was interesting. So that looked like shit. What a horrible thing to spend 20 grand on. If you want art for 20 grand, just go to Fiverr and get like 1,000,000 pieces.
That furry art is one of the biggest industries online. For some reason, a lot of
I
furries
highly
seem to be
recommend to any
extremely
artist out there
wealthy
that
and
needs a
willing to
quick
drop
buck,
hundreds and
furry
even
porn.
thousands on artwork of their custom characters. Basically, if you want to make some money, start selling furry art.
Oh, also, is this okay to watch on Twitch? I didn't even stop and think about that. Thanks to the bits, Tashay. Thanks to the resub Wandering Cosmos. Okay.
There'll always be some mysteriously rich furry benefactor out there who'll buy it, especially if it's on the more, let's say, risque side. But one of the most expensive sales ever took place on DeviantArt, where a piece of custom furry art sold for $20,000. Needless to say, chaos and controversy ensued, and that is still talked about today.
That's a lot of Garfield plushies.
Of the 20k furry. Before we get into today's video, I'd like
Thanks
to give a
for
massive
resub,
thank you to
Usige.
today's sponsor, Wingfox. Wingfox is an online learning platform where you can take courses in digital painting, especially have to delve into the world of adoptables. For the uninitiated, adoptables are basically unique character designs which are sold and traded. An artist will usually make multiple at a batch and sell them to people who will then draw and roleplay with them. They can range in price from mere dollars to, well, thousands. And while most adoptables are brought simply
Why
with
though?
cool designs,
Isn't half of the fun coming up with your own
exclusive
persona?
Premium adoptables. These adoptables are highly sought after and valuable either because they were made by a popular artist or because they're a closed species. Once again, I gotta explain.
Okay, hold on. Sorry to immediately pause. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. A fursuit auction sold for 50k recently, and then 2 other people above that. Most expensive furry suit was just sold, and then another one, a fursuit commission, where it was a bit over 25k. I'm pretty sure those are 3 different instances, because I've heard of the first one, but not the 25k. Like, this is nothing. In the scheme of furry shit, this is lowball. Again, if you are an artist, or want to be an artist, or even have, like, even a modicum of art talent, do furry porn commissions. The amount of money that people pay for furry porn is crazy, even for the most low quality art. Thanks to the resub, Banana Girl.
Species are a subgenre of adoptables, but instead of just making a random character design, the artist creates a whole species with its own set of defining traits and characteristics. There are open species where anyone can make their own character, and there are closed species where you have to buy one. While the ethics of closed species have been a hot topic in the art community for a long time, there's no denying the ridiculous popularity that some closed species have reached. Some species are so sought after that people will spend hours in bidding wars and will shell out months worth of wages just to get their grubby little paws on them. In turn, the buyers have actually formed
At the cost
a
of what?
community of their own.
What do you mean
almost
cost of what?
gamifying the purchase of adoptables.
It's not like you're gonna
Themselves
lose
became
jobs
famous in
because
the
you do
community
furry
just
porn
for
on the
owning
side under
rare
an alias.
adoptables, while newbies were advised to stick to more beginner-friendly species which didn't have vicious bidding wars, complex trading
Thanks, Resub
politics,
MK.
and high price tags. Yeah, these rich furries were running their
Yeah,
economy
I'd recommend
better
it,
than
Gato.
most governments
It's huge.
do. But back to our story. It all started with a DeviantArt group called Grim Corps, who were selling a closed species called Grims. From the Grim Corps page, quote, "Grims are creatures from an ancient species that have been thoroughly domesticated by humanity. Grims serve as human companionship and protection along with many other means of assistance. They can be created to be loving and cuddly companions or stern and alert defenders depending on your needs." While personally the whole muscular bipedal animal companion thing is a little weird to me, I can understand why people wanted to invest in these things. Not only are the designs and artwork nice, but you kinda get to feel like you're part of an exclusive rich people club. It's basically the same as wearing designer clothes. You're in it for the aesthetic, but the status of owning something expensive plays a big part too. And oh boy, were Grims expensive. These things regularly sold for over $300, with many buyers becoming well known in the community for their large number of Grims and the sheer amount that they've invested into the closed species. So now that we know a bit about adoptables and Grim Corps themselves, we can dive into the story.
This is not
of the
porn though.
infamous
You're
20
correct.
furry with a
If it
little
was
more
porn, that'd be
context.
over 1,000 each.
Let me lay it down for you. It was the summer of 2019, and a DeviantArt user called Caravan Outpost, Caravan for short, discovered the Grim Corps page and the adoptables that they were selling. Having fallen in love with the Grims and all their the muscular charm, they decided that they needed to have one. Now, information from this time period is a little lackluster due to many older posts on the Grim Corps page being deleted because of harassment. But what we do know is that on July 12th of 2019, one of the co-founders of Grim Corps, Toothless Ego, started an auction to get a custom Grim. It was going to be a Cypherus Grim 2, the most rare and heavily sought after type, and
that is a premium model.
a hefty $800. The original
That's a hot
creator of
rod.
the species known as Mr. Grimble was going to help out with the auction to make it go smoothly and even volunteered to throw in some free art to the winner. The auction started and was going well, with bids going into the thousands as expected. But it kept going. Things began to spin out of control as the bids increased with no sign of stopping. Here are a few quotes from the bidding war which were salvaged from the now deleted post. Note that the user Kintsugi Kitsugi
This is how they
is
bid with just
Caravan.
comments?
9,500. Good luck, comrade. 9,600. Same to you, dude. I'm flabbergasted in the best possible way. What an amazing community.
This doesn't
puts
seem
together
reliable.
like this. 18k. We're flying through space now. Ah, okay. 20k and I tap. Well fought, brethren. I salute you because holy damn. If you win, your Grim is gonna knock it out of the friggin' park. I can feel it. 20,500. Tap while you still can. I desire epicness. Get it. All light will end. At
Oh
this
my
point, we
god.
had the bidding turned out,
Ugh.
or Mr. Grimble stepped in to end the bidding, but Caravan won the custom Grim at a whopping $20,500.
He did not pay
Needless
that.
to say, the community was in an uproar, so much so that the comments had to be disabled and hidden. Some were congratulatory to Caravan and the Grim Corp team
He's a
for
prime
the big
weasel.
sale, while others were disgusted by the ordeal
Really,
and accused
Gene?
Mr. Grimble of being greedy or even faking the sale. While the auction was won, Caravan would have to wait a while for the custom adoptable to be designed and drawn up, and the community was on the edge of their seats in anticipation for the big reveal of what it would look like. With the community in shambles from the shocking event, you'd think that Caravan would lay low for a little bit, right? Nope. Only 9
It has been
days
good,
after
Rip.
the $20,000 adoptable purchase, Caravan brought another Grim adoptable for $3,000.
Jesus.
This is on top of the $20,000. People could only watch on in shock, bewilderment, and horror as Caravan placed a bid on another
Is it tier
adoptable,
one
this time of another
preenie?
closed species called Browbirds. They placed a $6,000 bid, but the owner of Browbirds banned them halfway through the auction. Caravan speculated that Mr. Grimble told the owner of Browbirds not to sell to them due to their recent purchase history. Understandably, they were a little wary about a buyer who had spent nearly $25,000 on adoptables
I
in
think-
just over a week, and their
no.
bids were removed from the auction. The
Yeah, 'cause they weren't real
community
bids, I
was
bet.
Still reeling from the drama even months later. Any mention of the $20,000 adoptable would draw angry commenters out of the woodworks, and it was still a pretty hot button topic. Meanwhile, the community was still waiting with bated breath to see the custom Grim. They wanted to see what a $20,000 commission looked like. Would it have the painstaking detail of a Michelangelo? The sorrowful realism of a Rembrandt? The dedication
Who's
to the perfection
Rembrandt?
of a Da Vinci? Well, all was revealed on February 9th
Thanks
of
to resub
2020
Zed.
when the $20,000 Grim was unveiled.
Whoa!
Well, the
Oh.
colors are nice. I'm being harsh, it's a very pretty design, and since it was custom,
you don't have to be nice, it looks like shit.
this way. But honestly, you can tell that it's been rushed. The shading looks a little muddy and unrefined, many parts of the design aren't rendered at all, and it overall looks too loose and sketchy. I'm not saying the art is bad or ugly by any stretch of the imagination, but in the context
Nah, it
of
kinda looks like shit. What do you mean?
$20,000, it just doesn't seem to have enough time put into it. As soon
The other
as
ones
the
look
Grim
better.
was unveiled, it was carnage. The community was outraged and hateful messages flooded in, calling it ugly, unfinished, and horrid. The outrage was reignited all over again, with arguments and hate filling the Grim Court page and drawing the attention of the entire adoptable community. So what on earth was going on? Who was Caravan and why were they spending such insane amounts? Was this some sort of scam? Was it secret?
I definitely think it was a
motives
scam.
behind-
I
Well,
really
the
think it was a
truth
scam.
was actually much darker. After the Grim was unveiled, Caravan would make a shocking DeviantArt post explaining why they had spent so much. Quote, "Last summer, I was the one who bid exactly $20,500 on a custom Grim slot from Toothless Ego. Why did I bid that much? I'd finally gone on meds for my severe anxiety and depression, and unfortunately I was on too high of a dose of
Jesus
my
Christ.
SSRI. This caused me to be manic. One of the symptoms of mania is going on spending sprees." Caravan explained that they had told Mr. Grimble about their manic state while bidding and asked for at least a partial refund, which was refused. At this point,
Oh,
they
God.
had to issue a chargeback, further souring their relationship with Mr. Grimble, which was already tenuous. Eventually deciding against this for unknown reason, Caravan instead demanded that the custom adoptable be finished immediately or they would take legal action. By this point, they were tired of waiting for their custom and were stressed out by their worsening relationship with
Makes
the
the resub
group
Gavin's
staff.
Guild.
It seemed like they just wanted the adoptable to be over and done with, and 24 hours after their legal threats, they received their custom Grim. They themselves admit that it was a rush job, and they must take some responsibility in causing that rush by threatening legal action. If they hadn't done that and given the artist a bit more time, maybe it could have come out a little bit more finished looking. Ultimately, Caravan's post received both backlash and support, with some claiming that Mr. Grimble was purposely taking advantage of their mental illness, and others claiming that Caravan was lying about their mania. And while it is true that Caravan's post lacked many screenshots to back up their claims, I personally believe that they were telling the truth. Even looking back,
Yeah, I think so too. You have to be out of your mind to spend 20 grand on a shit sketch.
Thousands and thousands over the span of a few weeks also fits the bill. While the deed is done and in the past now, I personally think that Mr. Grimble should have issued a refund. $20,000 was already a ludicrous amount of money, and after the refund, Mr. Grimble would still walk away with around $10,000. I think issuing a partial refund would have been the empathetic and kind thing to do just on a base moral level. On the other hand, at the end of the day, Caravan was still responsible for their purchases despite the unfortunate circumstances. I can
This Garfield's looking pretty good though. Not really related to this story, but I'm liking the Garfield.
It's a tough situation.
It's kind of nice.
In the end, it was resolved, and Caravan got their rushed 20k Grim. After this, Caravan was subsequently banned from the Grim Corps page and deactivated their account.
Hey,
It's
congrats on
unlikely
graduating,
they still have a
Marcos.
presence online, but it's likely that they're simply going under a new name these days. The story of the $20,000 furry commission.
Really?
is
I
a
didn't know that,
strange
Mac.
one. One of the biggest purchases in furry history may have only been made because of the buyer's drug-induced mania and nearly tore an entire community apart. The fact that the design was rushed was the cherry on top and cemented the story in the Internet Hall of Fame for its controversy. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have had a great start to your 2021.
There's a Prime link.
Yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much to Wingfox for sponsoring it, and yeah, I really hope to see you in the next one.
Well, that was interesting. So that looked like shit. What a horrible thing to spend 20 grand on. If you want art for 20 grand, just go to Fiverr and get like 1,000,000 pieces. You will get at least a wide assortment of different quality as opposed to dumping it all on one artist who doesn't really want to do it to begin with. Fiverr art is nuts. Some of the artists on Fiverr are so good, it's crazy. Thanks to the resub job is. It's sad to see some of the talent on there. It's like, damn, you're so much better than this. But that price is unbeatable, I'm in.